Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. This is your host, Thomas Sandor Townsend, licensed massage therapist and certified meditation instructor. Today we're going over Chapter 10 in the book Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. And Chapter 10 is entitled Dealing with Problems. Let's get into it. You're going to run into problems in your meditation. Everybody does. Problems come in all shapes and sizes. And the only thing you can be absolutely certain about is that you will have some. The main trick in dealing with obstacles is to adopt the right attitude. The reason we're all stuck in life's mud is that we ceaselessly run from our problems and after our desires. Meditation provides us with a laboratory situation in which we can examine this syndrome and devise strategies for dealing with it. There is no pleasure without some degree of pain. There is no pain without some amount of pleasure. Life is composed of joys and miseries. They go hand in hand. Meditation is no exception. You will experience good times and bad times, ecstasies and fear. Your ability to deal with some issues that arise in meditation will carry you over the rest of your life and allow you to smooth out big issues that really bother you. Pain is inevitable, suffering is not. Pain and suffering are two different animals. If any of these strategies strike you in your present state of mind, you will suffer. The habit patterns that presently control your mind will lock you into that suffering, and there will be no escape. A bit of time spent in learning alternatives to those habit patterns is time well invested. Problem number 1. Physical pain. Nobody likes pain, yet everybody has some at one time or another. It is one of life's most common experiences and is bound to arise in your meditation in one form or another. Handling pain is a two-stage process. First, get rid of the pain if possible, or at least get rid of it as much as possible. Then if some pain lingers, use it as an object of meditation. Problem 2, legs going to sleep. It is very common for beginners to have their legs fall asleep or go numb during meditation. They are simply not accustomed to the cross-leg posture. Some people get very anxious about this. They feel they must get up and move around. If you are completely convinced that they will get gangrene from the lack of circulation, numbness in the leg is nothing to worry about. It is caused by nerve pinch, not by lack of circulation. You can't damage the tissue of your legs by sitting, so relax. Problem 3, eye sensations. People experience all manner of varied phenomena in meditation. Some people get itches, others feel tingling, deep relaxation, a feeling of lightness, or a floating sensation. You may feel yourself growing or shrinking or rising up in the air. Beginners often get quite excited over such sensations. Don't worry, you're not likely to levitate anytime soon. As relaxation sets in, the nervous system simply begins to pass sensory signals more efficiently. Large amount of previously blocked sensory data can pour through, giving rise to all kinds of unique sensations. It does not signify anything in particular, it is just sensation. So simply employ the normal technique, watch it come up, watch it pass away. Don't get involved. Problem 4, drowsiness. This inquisitive awareness is the direct opposite of drowsiness, and it will evaporate it. If it does not, then you should suspect a physical cause of your sleepiness. Search that out and handle it. If you have just eaten a large meal, that could be the cause. It is best to eat lightly if you're about to meditate, or wait an hour after a big meal. And don't overlook the obvious either. If you have been out hauling bricks all day, you're naturally going to be tired. The same is true if you only got a few hours of sleep the night before. Take care of your body's physical needs, then meditate. Problem 5, inability to concentrate. An overactive, jumping attention is something that everybody experiences from time to time. Do your meditation first, then read or go to the movies. Another influential factor is your own emotional state. If there is some real conflict in your life, that agitation will carry over in your meditation. Vipassana meditation is primarily an exercise in awareness. Emptying the mind is not as important as being mindful of what the mind is doing. Problem 6, boredom. You're going to run into boredom repeatedly in your meditation. Everybody does. Boredom is a mental state and should be treated as such. A few simple strategies will help you cope. Tactic A, reestablish your true mindfulness. If the breath seems an exceedingly dull thing to observe over and over, you may rest assured of one thing: you have ceased to observe. The process with true mindfulness. Mindfulness is never boring. Look again. Don't assume that you know what breath is. Don't take it for granted that you have already seen everything there is to see. If you do, you're conceptualizing the process. You're not observing its living reality. When you're clearly mindful of the breath or of anything else, it is never boring. Mindfulness looks at everything with eyes of a child, with a sense of wonder. Mindfulness sees every moment as it were the first and the only moment in the universe. So look again. Tactic B, observe your mental state. Look at your state of boredom mindfully. What is boredom? Where is boredom? What does it feel like? What are its mental components? Does it have any physical feeling? What does it do to your thought process? Take a fresh look at boredom as if you have never experienced that state before. Problem 7, fear. States of fear sometimes arise during meditation for no discernible reason. It is a common phenomenon, and there can be a number of causes. You may be experiencing the effect of something repressed long ago. Problem 8, agitation. Restlessness is often a cover-up for some deeper experience taking place in the unconscious. We humans are great at repressing things. Rather than confronting some unpleasant thought we experience, we try to bury it so we won't have to deal with the issue. Problem 9, trying too hard. Advanced meditators are generally found to be pretty jovial people. They possess one of the most valuable of all human treasures, a sense of humor. It is not the superficial, witty repartee of the talk show host. It is a real sense of humor. They can laugh at their own human failures. They chuckle at personal disasters. Beginners in meditation are often much too serious for their own good. New meditators are often overly eager for results. Problem 10, discouragement. The upshot of pushing too hard is frustration. You're in a state of tension. You get nowhere. You realize that you're not making the progress you expected, so you get discouraged. You feel like a failure. It is still a very natural cycle, but a total avoidable one. Striving after unrealistic expectations is the source. Nevertheless, it is a common enough syndrome, and in spite of all the best advice, you will find it happening to you. There's a solution. If you find yourself discouraged, just observe your state of mind clearly. Don't add anything to it. Just watch it. A sense of failure is only another ephemeral emotional reaction. If you get involved, it feeds on your energy and it grows. If you simply stand aside and watch it, it passes away. Problem 11. Resistance to meditation. There are times when you don't feel like meditating. The very idea seems obnoxious. Missing a single practice session is scarcely important, but it very easily becomes a habit. It is wiser to push on through the resistance, go sit anyway, observe the feeling of aversion. Problem 12, stupor or dullness. We have already discussed the sinking mind phenomenon, but there is a special route to that state you should watch out for. Mental dullness can result as an unwanted byproduct of deepening concentration. As your relaxation deepens, muscles loosens, and nerve transmissions change, this produces a very calm and light feeling in the body. You feel very still and somewhat divorced from the body. This is a very pleasant state. And at first, your concentration is quite good, nicely centered on the breath. As it continues, however, the pleasant feeling intensify and they distract your attention from the breath. You start to really enjoy this state and your mindfulness goes way down. You will have problems in meditation. Everybody does. You can treat them as terrible torments or as challenges to be overcome. If you regard them as burdens, your suffering will only increase. If you regard them as opportunities to learn and grow, your spiritual prospects are unlimited. Alrighty, that does it for chapter 10, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comments down below and I will get back to you ASAP. Love you, peace, and be well.